Good day. Welcome to SO 201, Principles and Tenets of Social Welfare. Study Session 1, Professional Competence and Development of Skills in Social Work. Introduction. Professional competence in social work practice is simply having the necessary skills and abilities to work effectively with clients. Professional competence accords the social worker the knowledge and skills needed to be able to focus and emphasize what the clients can do instead of what they cannot do. This study session will therefore introduce you to the concept of professional competence and steps to follow when rendering quality practice to the people. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to define professional competence in social work and highlight the levels in portfolio of competence. Concept of professional competence in social work. Professional competence demands that social workers remain current in their knowledge of practice through adequate reading of professional books, journals, and participating in continuing education, such as attendance of seminars, workshops, roundtables, and conferences. Professional competence are features that characterize a profession, including lengthy training in relation to some clearly demarcated area of knowledge and skill, the idea of public service or even altruistic practice, impartial service regardless of clients and with a code of ethics or conduct. Pearson and Thomas, 2002. For quality service, social workers should base all practice decisions on social work knowledge, research, and ethics. Professional competence in social work practice has a number of issues, and these are: 1. The social worker must honestly declare his or her credentials to the employers. The employer should not be misled about the social worker's qualification. The social worker's qualifications form a first step in professional competence. This also has to do with the principle of professional honesty. Therefore, social workers should be competent because competence involves having qualifications, abilities, and skills to conduct social work effectively with the clients and their problems. Kurtz, Ashman, and Hall, 2002. 2. The social worker must strive to acquire knowledge and skill required for a particular job to remain competent. For example, a family social worker may require knowledge and skills necessary for medical social work to be able to function adequately in any health setting. This may be achieved through enrolling in an educational program to enhance and extend your credentials in such field of practice. Ibadan School of Social Work is aware of these requirements and trains generally social workers who can work in many social work settings. Again, a social worker in this category may also attend continuing education seminars, in-service training, or professional conferences to develop needed skills. In this regard, the social worker should continually improve in knowledge and skills in order to be current and relevant in his practice and in line with global demands. In any case, the social worker should not practice outside of his or her competence to avoid being challenged on ethical grounds. For instance, a medical social worker must restrict his or her practice to the health setting. Development of skills in implementing social work. Counseling skills used to communicate and build relationships are central to social services. Social work entails working with children, young people and adults, and with colleagues in multidisciplinary teams like medical doctors of various specialties, nurses, administrators, lawyers, police, teachers, farmers, etc., including partnerships across agencies. Activities for continuing professional development or require attention to the detail of speaking and relating. The core business of social work is still people and talk. Communicating face to face on the telephone, by letter, and lately by email and in written reports remain a key skill. Social work is principally involved in finding solutions to crises or emergencies such as surgery, accidents, terminal diseases and conditions, marital disputes, delinquencies, and even bereavement, to mention a few. This is underpinned by the values of conveying respect and combating discrimination and disadvantage, using a knowledge base which has been developed from other disciplines and redefined as society changes. These are key points to be recognized in the development of skills in social work practice. 1. Good communication and relationship remains at the heart of effective social work practice. Active listening is one of the core competencies of international interviewing and counseling in social work practice. 2. Social work takes place in a managerial and legal framework within which good interpersonal skills are essential. 3. Work with crisis, change and life events involve social workers in counseling roles. 4. Practitioners have evidenced the usefulness of counseling skills and would like training opportunities to develop them. 5. Practical counseling skills are relevant to all social work, whatever the practice context. Adequate knowledge of these points is a beginning of skill acquisition necessary for social work practice. In social work practice, there are steps to follow in rendering quality practice to the people. This may be called portfolio of competence. Portfolio of competence. The levels in portfolio of competence are: Level 1, identification and classification. Under Level 1, we have ability to discuss issues in diversity that occurs in relation to these skills. And secondly, we have the ability to write encourages, paraphrases, and summaries that might predict what a client will say next. Level 2, basic competence. Under Level 2, we have the ability to encourage clients to keep talking through use of non-verbal cues, including the use of silence, minimal encourages such as "aha," and the repetition of keywords. And secondly, we have the ability to discuss cultural differences with the clients early in the interview as appropriate to the individual. Level 3, intentional competence. 1. Ability to use encouragers, paraphrases, and summaries accurately to facilitate client conversation. 2. Ability to use encouragers, paraphrases, and summaries accurately to keep clients from repeating their stories unnecessarily. 3. Ability to summarize accurately longer periods of client utterances. 4. Ability to communicate with bilingual clients using some of the keywords and phrases in their primary language. Level 4, teaching competence. Under Level 4, teaching competence in these skills is best planned for a later time, but a client who has particular difficulty in listening to others may indeed benefit by careful training in paraphrasing. There are some individuals who often fail to hear accurately and distort what others have said to them. Ivy and Ivy, 2003. Study session summary. In this study session, we discussed the concepts of professional competence in social work. We noted that the practice is having necessary skills and abilities to work effectively and efficiently with clients. Professional competencies are futures thoughts to characterize a profession, the idea of public service, impartial service to clients, and with a code of ethics or conduct. Professional competence requires that social workers should remain current in their knowledge of practice through continuous reading of books and journals of the profession and others, attendance of seminars, workshops, and conferences. End of study session 1. Thank you for listening.